What is up, you guys? Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome to the pre-show for the free show. I'm VNA.
Here's what I need you to do, VNA. I need you to settle on a catchphrase. Like, we're not going to do this like, oh, we've got 9 different catchphrases that we've got to get in. Yes, y'all, etc. Got to have one and stick to it. Like, we know that's the way.
I'd like to hear from the public if they don't like it.
I didn't say they didn't like it. I'm saying you got to pick one. Like, it can't be like, we're going to sing, hey, what's up, you guys? We're going to say, hello, party people. We're gonna, like, it's got to be one. Do you know what I mean? Let's keep things simple around here. This is an overly complicated internet show. Hello, everybody.
Okay, I guess.
Welcome to the pre-show for the pre-show. Let's keep our bits, like, between the lines here, okay? Howdy, friends. Welcome to the pre-show for the free show.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm Greg. That's VNA. You want to talk about what we did yesterday? So yesterday was
it's your show.
Earth Day.
Oh, yeah. It was Earth Day.
Right? Yesterday was Earth Day. And there is one person in our office who loves Earth Day.
Yes.
And I would say loves the earth.
Yes.
That's fair.
Very much.
It's Ashley Pickle.
Oh, man. Should have had her on.
The now former employee here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football.
She went to work for NASA.
Yeah, she was on the Artemis 2.
That's how much she loved the Earth.
She was on the Artemis 3, the Artemis 2 like satellite they shot off near the moon. Anyway, she loves Earth Day, and so she decided to put together an Earth Day celebration, which is functionally just what if we went and ate in a park for lunch.
Yes.
And so yesterday, we, the Dave Campbell's crew, all piled into our one clown car.
Yes.
And drove over to a park near us and sat outside and ate sandwiches and made good friends.
I was having the time of my life.
Yeah, it was a good time. A football was there.
Yes.
We threw that around.
Football was thrown.
We went around and everyone said their favorite thing about the Earth, which was interesting.
Exactly. It was great.
There was a surprise guest there.
It was probably the best surprise ever.
It was VNA's boyfriend, Max Tepper, my youngest son. Max showed up.
I love you, Max.
Max and his mom showed up because
and his mom.
Yeah, they were just like
and his mom.
They were in the area and they heard there was an Earth Day celebration. Max had the time of his life because there was a playground.
Oh, you're forgetting the best part that what Ashley brought to the Earth Day picnic.
I was getting there.
Okay.
Because I was setting this up. Because Ashley decided to make dirt cups.
Yes, mud cups.
If you remember when you were in elementary school, which is basically the chocolate pudding with Oreo crumbs, right? I didn't have one. Oreo crumbs on top.
You didn't have one?
Nah, I'm watching the fig. And then a gummy worm. And there was like a whole spread of like sandwiches and chips and stuff like that, but you will never ever guess what Max Tepper had for lunch. That's right. Only a dirt cup.
That's elite.
But
That's
he was
elite. A special occasion.
He hammered it though. He was you know what I mean? He was enjoying it.
And then he ran everywhere.
It's so funny. Yesterday, I was getting ready. I was getting a little tuckered out after working on the magazine. I did a lot of work. But then at the very end of the night, I checked my watch because I wanted to see how many steps I had. And I had like 3 times the normal amount of steps. And I was like, why do I have so many steps? And it was like, oh, because on my lunch break, I was running around chasing a 4-year-old.
Yes, you were running around everywhere.
It was dad-tivities.
It was funny because I was eating my sandwich and like at one point I saw you like by the playground, and then at another point like I'd look down for 2 seconds and then you were like across the park in another point.
Oh no, he is
awesome.
He is all gas, no brakes. That is Max Tepper.
It's the best kind, you know.
It's all gas, no brakes. Yeah. Anyway, happy Earth Day.
Happy Earth Day.
Happy Earth Day to all who celebrate, which I guess is everybody.
Everybody. What was your favorite part of the Earth again?
The fact that Greg Powers is on it.
I agree.
Hit the theme, Expo. Yes, y'all. From the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Mothership here in beautiful Lewisville, Texas, it is Texas Football Today, a program on the internet. My name's Greg Tepper. I'm the editor-in-chief of Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine and TexasFootball.com. Thank you for spending part of your day with us. Whether you're watching us live at TexasFootball.com, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, or you're listening to us on the podcast, which you can subscribe to on the podcast vendor of your choice. Either way, thank you for doing your part to support your local mediocre internet show. I just for the first time, we have a program monitor here. I am just now looking at like the bottom bar. Boy, we have a lot of ways for you to connect with us. Look at all those things. I'm sitting over there at the helm today, making us sound good. It has been at least 1 week since she got into a fight.
Yes.
She is Vianney Moreno. Hello, Vianney Moreno.
Hi, guys. As you can tell, I don't know if you can tell right there, but there's a small scar.
Yeah, it's okay. It's sick. Blech. Today is Thursday, April 23rd, 2026. It is a mere 217 days until Thanksgiving.
Mere?
Happy birthday.
Adam Scott.
It is not Adam Scott's birthday. Did you see the Instagram thing I sent you?
That was terrifying.
Adam Scott's in a new horror movie, and I sent the trailer to.
It genuinely scared me.
I just thought you would think that the guy you have a crush on is there.
I do love him.
Today is the birthday of two of the preeminent poets of our time, William Shakespeare and John Cena.
Wow,
Happy birthday
beautiful.
to both.
Great. Wow.
What a connection.
Great connection.
It is episode 1929. He guessed. Oh! 12:32. On today's show, folks, big show. We got Math Tuesday.
Big show. Math Tuesday.
Where we're going to dive inside the numbers and talk a little bit about returning offensive starters and for teams in 2026, which teams bring back the most, and I think more importantly, what that means. And we're going to try to put that into real terms for you coming up here in a minute. In the back half of the show, we're going to Central Texas, talk with the new head coach of the Hillsboro Eagles, Coach Leland Hamilton will join us. Very excited to talk with him. Coach Hamilton, in his first, this is his first head coaching job. He's a guy, he's a Beaumont guy, if that's interesting to you, which it is to me. I want to talk about Beaumont Ozan and him playing there. We'll talk about that with Leland Hamilton, the head coach of the Hillsboro Eagles, coming up here at the back half of the program. That sound good to you, VNA? This is for an audience of one. I just want to make sure you're happy. Are you happy with this show?
Sorry, I forgot. I'm very happy.
Do we have first word for the dark?
We do. We have red. I feel now I'm saying. I feel like I'm saying.
Oh my God.
I'm saying this wrong. I've been saying red eyes, but I think it's red eyes. I don't know, but I'm always gonna say red eyes. Tell me about like Ashley Pickle from the Moon and Joey Hill. Hi guys.
Welcome in, friends. We do appreciate you spending a little bit of your day with us here on a Thursday in April. And if it's a Thursday in April, that can mean one thing and one thing only. That's right. It's time for Math Tuesday.
Math Tuesday!
Math Tuesday.
It's Math Tuesday here on Texas Football Today.
Was something funny?
Nah, it's just it. You know how sometimes you just like hit the reset button in your brain and you're like, how did we get to this point? How did we get to a point where on a Thursday we're running a segment called Math Tuesday whose intro involves a house blowing up?
It's the best thing ever.
Anyway,
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's Math Tuesday here on
Math
Texas
Tuesday.
Football Today, where we dive inside the numbers. And right now, the reason I look so tired is because I'm old. The other reason that I look so tired is because we are hard at work on the 2026 summer edition of Dave Campbell's Texas Football. We are gathering information from all over the state, from various coaches. In fact, we are still trying to track down 22 Texas high school football programs.
Get them in.
I will find you. I have a specific set of skills. I will find you.
We have Nerf guns.
We do have Nerf guns. Anyway, we're tracking down information and putting together the 2026 summer edition of Dave Campbell's Texas Football. And there's a few different data points that we use to do our projections, to do our rankings, to do our to kind of form our analysis heading into the season. And some of them I think are pretty easy, which is like, how were you last year? Right? I mean, a team that was really good last year, we think is going to be, historically has shown, will be pretty good the next year, right? If your team went 16-0 last year, the chances of you going 0-10 this year are pretty slim. Pretty slim. So past performance is obviously part of it. But there's a couple of other data points that we really use. Obviously talking with coaches, getting a feel for teams, what kind of players you have coming back. But one of the numbers that you're going to see all over the magazine is returning starters. Returning starters on offense and on defense. If you read a preview capsule in Dave Campbell's Texas Football, it'll say starters OD, O/D, and then like two numbers, 7 and 4, which means you have 7 starters coming back on offense, 4 starters coming back on defense. And first of all, that's just a good thing to know. It's just a good thing to know how much experience, how many starters you have, how many key contributors you have coming back. I will say that, and these are self-reported by the coaches, I will say from the outset, it is not a gospel number. And here's what I mean by that. There are different coaches who will have a different thought of what constitutes a returning starter. I'll give you an example. Let's say that the starting quarterback of Tepper High School starts the first 5 games. Then he gets injured, and then his junior backup comes in and plays the rest of the season. Is that junior backup a returning starter? I think reasonable people can disagree. I think if you want to say no, he's not a starter. If you want to say yes, he absolutely is a starter. I think you can go either way. We intentionally leave that up to the coaches and say, you tell us, because I think that coaches will be honest with us and say, okay, this guy was a key contributor. If you just started one game, like for me, my senior year at Coppell High School, more or less out of pity, I started a game. Okay? You would never call me a returning starter, though. Okay? So there is a little bit of art and science as far as this is concerned. But we ask coaches all across the state to tell us how many starters they have coming back from their team last year. Okay, so that's all the way. Why does this matter? Why do we ask that? We're going to focus on the offense today. We'll do the defense next week, but we're going to focus on the offense because the number of returning starters directly informs how your offense is going to be. And that might seem obvious. You might be like, well, yeah. I mean, deep down in my bones, I understand that if you have an experienced offense coming back versus a bunch of freshmen you're throwing out there, then yes, it's going to look better. But I wanted to make sure we were able to put a number on it. So what I did is I looked at every UIL 11-man team last year and the number of returning starters that they had coming back on offense in 2025. So the number of guys who started in 2024 that were coming back in 2025. And then I looked at how their offense changed. So if you have 10 starters coming back on offense, what happened to your scoring all year long? Did it go up? Did it go down? And what I think you'll see is a pretty clear indication of how important returning starters are to a Texas high school football team. So let's take a look at this. This is the number of returning starters that teams brought back and how their offense changed. And you can see a clear curve here. Okay? Teams that brought back 11 starters, every starter from their offense from 2024, that brought them back in 2025, they saw their offense improve by more than 10 points per game on average. And you see it goes down from there. 10 returning starters, about 8 points. 9 and 8, there was not really much of a difference, but you could count on a team improving their scoring by about 4 points a game. 7 starters per game, or 7 starters returning, you were up about 2 points per game. When you get in the middle with 6 starters back on offense or 5 starters back on offense, that is where you more or less, I'm going to say status quo. It was within a point, okay? Technically, they were worse offensively than they were the year before, but I would say that statistically that is negligible. They are more or less the same offense. It's when you get under 5 starters back that you start to realize, okay, things take a dip. 4 starters. If you have 4 starters coming back on offense, you are down 3 points a game. 3 starters, 3.5. If you only brought back 2, you're down nearly 8 points per game. And then if you only brought back 1 returning starter, you were down nearly 15 points per game on average. So you can see how important it is to have veterans, to have people who know their way around an offense on a Friday night for what these offenses will look like and why this is such a projectable number. And so, with all of that said, it's a big preamble, I understand. Let's take a look at the teams that are bringing back the most offensive starters in 2026. And there's one team at the top that's bringing back everybody. Only one. Clarendon. The Broncos. And to be real honest, candidly, they could use a jolt. They went 2-9 last year. They only scored about 17 points per game. But I want you to consider this. Knowing what we know now, knowing that on average, if you bring back 11 starters on offense, that you can add about 10 points per game to your scoring average, suddenly Clarendon is scoring 27 points per game. And let's just be blunt. 27 points per game, you can win some ball games that way. So don't be surprised when Clarendon is projected to be better in 2026. There's a bunch of teams that bring back 10 starters on offense. I want to point out a couple of them. One of them is Columbus. Columbus, the 2024 3A Division I state champ, was pretty young in 2025. That is going to pay dividends in 2026 because they bring back 10 starters on offense. Graham brings back 10 starters on offense. They were very, very young last year. Stratford, who played in a state championship game not long ago, they bring back a ton. Whitney has a ton of playmakers, including Kobe Haynes. Mansfield Timberview. Aubrey brings back 10 starters. And then you can see, I don't expect you to be able to read that, there's a glut of teams that bring back 9 starters on offense. Canyon Randall, Cy Falls, Rockdale, Robinson is a team I'm really high on this year. Sonora is another team I'm really high on. These are the teams that you can expect based on what we know, based on history, based on crunching the numbers. You can expect every offense on this list to improve next year. Now, that doesn't mean they're all going to improve. That doesn't mean that they're all going to be able to put it together because we know that that's just one number and it's on a piece of paper and football ain't played on paper. But if you wanted to look at a projectable number, these are the teams that I think you can say pretty clearly we should expect bigger things offensively in 2026. So there it is, the most returning starters on offense for these 2026 Texas High School Football UIL 11-man teams. Of course, we'll have a ton of stuff on TexasFootball.com and in the magazine about this. It's fascinating to me because I had never been able, I think intrinsically, we know, and it makes sense that like, oh yeah, if you bring back 9 starters on offense, your offense is going to be better. Now we can put a number on it. We can say, yes, you're going to be about 4 points better per game. If you bring back 11 starters, that's worth 10 points per game on average. Those are the types of things that we're doing to project what the 2026 Texas high school football season is going to look like. And it's fascinating to dive into these numbers now that we've got like a bunch of the information in. Because you start, I'll just tell you, as somebody who's been writing a bunch of previews, I wrote the 3A preview last night. You can start to see the shape of Texas high school football in 2026 come into focus. It's a fun time of year. That's why I'm so tired. And that is Math Tuesday.
Math Tuesday.
She's playing on her phone. Sorry. We're Texas Football Today. We're on Mondays and Thursdays on TexasFootball.com, talking football in the Lone Star State. You can follow us on Twitter at DCTF, like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, Instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And, of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. I hope you'll go to TexasFootball.com/subscribe to become a Dave Campbell's Texas Football subscriber. That 2026 summer edition of Dave Campbell's Texas Football, you want it. I know you do. I know you do. Go to TexasFootball.com/subscribe. We will mail you the magazine before it hits newsstands. You will have it before anyone else.
Wait, what?
You will have the magazine in your mailbox before anyone has a chance to buy it.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay? So if you're a subscriber, you're going to get it on X date. I don't have the date in front of me. I got to talk to the printer. You'll have it on X date.
The printer.
You will not be able to buy it at a store until X plus like a week or X plus 10 days. Get your 2026 summer edition of Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Plus, you get a year of Dave Campbell's Texan Live, our streaming platform. Thousands of live events. Thousands. Including, do we have playoff baseball this week? Or softball?
Yes.
We have playoff softball?
Yes.
We got playoff softball coming up on Dave Campbell's Texan Live.
Let's go.
Plus, when football season rolls around, you know we got you covered. Hundreds and hundreds of live Texas high school football games live on your device at TexasFootball.com. Become Dave Campbell's Texas Football subscriber at TexasFootball.com/subscribe. Makes a great gift as well. Makes a great gift as well. Get it for John Cena's birthday. TexasFootball.com/subscribe. Coming up here after the break, we're going to Central Texas. Going to talk with the head coach of the Hillsboro Eagles. Coach Leland Hamilton will join us. But first, a word from these valued partners.
Pour some sunshine with new First Light Community Coffee's first ever light roast. This blend has notes of honey and brown sugar that will brighten any part of your day. Try First Light now at communitycoffee.com.
Hello, Candace.
Not you again.
Me again. Remember our last oil change? Your boyfriend said he knew a guy who knew a guy. None of those guys knew what they were doing, including you, Todd.
Silence your oil change anxiety at Valvoline Instant Oil Change, where you can watch our experts change your oil right from your car.
Thanks for coming in.
And finish in about 15 minutes. Valvoline. Service you can see, experts you can trust.
Friday night football is here, and Hometown is trusted by thousands of schools across the nation to make game days effortless. Sell tickets online, easily scan them at the gate, track sales in real time, and keep your community connected with a free athletic website. Make every game a Hometown game. Visit hometown.com to learn more.
Every legend starts with a vision. For Dave Campbell, that vision was clear. Tell the story of Texas football like never before. In 1960, he built something no one had before, a magazine that became the Bible of Texas football. Coaches, players, and fans didn't just read it, they lived by it. His words shaped the game. His vision built a legacy. And his name? It will always be written in the story of Texas football. Dave Campbell's Texas Football, where legends begin.
Back here at Texas Football Today, I'm Greg, that's VNA. And VNA, let's go to the hotline. We are pleased to be joined live by the new head coach of the Hillsboro Eagles. Let's go to Central Texas and talk with Coach Leland Hamilton. Coach, how are you?
Good. How you doing? Thanks for having me.
I'm doing great. How are things in Hillsboro?
Going really well. Things are going great here. Everybody's awesome. It's an amazing community. We had a Fields of Faith last night that I was a guest speaker at. I had over 100 kids there. It was really great, really amazing community.
You are taking over this Hillsboro program, and we saw the press release come out, and they're saying all sorts of nice things about you. I won't repeat them here on the air, but I do want to take kind of the question and flip it a little bit of why Hillsboro was the right move for you. What made Hillsboro so appealing to you?
Yeah, Hillsboro reminds me of where I'm from, Beaumont, Texas. That's where, Beaumont United is at, Westbrook High School is at. I'm from a smaller town like that. Hillsboro reminds me of that. And I wanted to be somewhere that wasn't where I was at. In Katy was a great district and really prepared me for this opportunity. But, as we know, being in that district, a kid could move 5 minutes down the street and he's no longer, in your program anymore. So I wanted to go somewhere where I didn't have to worry about that. I felt like for me to be a head coach, I wanted to be somewhere where, I know who's going to be the quarterback in the 5th grade, and more so words. So that was really the reason why I wanted to come to Hillsboro, and that was really one of the most exciting things that brought me to Hillsboro.
You're coming here from your spot as the offensive coordinator there at Katy Morton Ranch, and I am curious what lessons you coached under Nick Cavallo there for a couple of years. What lessons are you taking from your time at Morton Ranch that you're going to bring with you to Hillsboro?
Yeah, really just build relationships with the kids and understand that, Rome was built overnight. That's one thing that I got from Coach Cavallo. And a big thing that I got, I think that's most important is, keeping our process the same. We didn't do anything different from when we went 0-10 to the following year when we won a few more games, right? Like we didn't change our process. We didn't relook at how we prepared the team to play the games. We didn't change our practice plans. We didn't game plan any differently. So if anything I learned from him that was more, beneficial to me to carry here is just keep our process the same. What we believe in is what we believe in, and our culture and our process is going to remain the same no matter the result.
When you got there to Hillsboro and you got your football team in a room and addressed them for the first time as a head coach, they don't know who you are. I'm curious what your message to them was the first time you addressed them as their head coach.
Yeah, well, I wanted to let them know that, for one, I had been in their shoes. I went to a school that was, we had a head coaching change going into my sophomore year. I believe my freshman year. And I wanted to let them know that I understood the questions that they may have. And I wanted to paint a picture of what the things would look like. So I showed them a lot of videos of how we were going to do things, what it would look like in the weight room, what it would look like on the field, what the offense is going to look like, what the defense is going to look like. Here's the coaches that I'm planning to bring in. This is what we're going to provide for you. This is what it's going to look like. Really wanted them to understand, that give them that picture to understand what it was going to be like from this point going forward. And then I wanted to bring them a huge amount of excitement. I'm a younger coach, so I wanted them to feel that, right? We're going to have some nice gear. We're going to look good. We're going to have nice swag to us, but ultimately we're going to go about our business the right way. So I definitely wanted to paint that picture to them and make sure that they didn't have any questions, in the locker room after that meeting.
Talking with Leland Hamilton, the head coach of the Hillsboro Eagles here on Texas Football Today. Get involved in the conversation, #TF Today. Okay, Coach, you're taking over a program, in need of a jolt. What kind of brand of football can Eagles fans expect from a Leland Hamilton coach ball club?
Yeah, really two things is, effort and toughness.
Mm-hmm.
One thing we believe is, that takes no talent. I believe in that. I worked with Coach Cody Semper. He's the head coach at Barbers Hill. He was really big in that, and that's what he used to talk about all the time. Effort and toughness takes no talent. So one thing that the community is going to see, and people are going to know when they see us on the schedule is, we're gonna give everything we got. We may not be the most talented, the biggest, the fastest, the strongest, but we're going to give everything that we have for 4 quarters, for all 48 minutes, and try to come out on top. Our effort, doing the little things right, doing those things that takes zero talent. It takes no talent to touch a line with your right hand if that's what we're doing, right? All those little finite things, I believe, will, help us get to where we need to be.
When you take a look at this roster that you're inheriting and this group of Eagles that you're going to be bringing out to the fields on Friday night, what has you most excited about this group of guys that you're going to go into battle with?
So I will say this, and this is not a knock to any other, program I've been. These kids are the best kids I've ever been around. Like, they're coachable. I haven't heard any smack lips, any back talking, anything like that. Like, these kids are amazing. Like, they just show up ready to work. Like, they're in their athletic period right now working out, and they're getting after it. Like, they're excited. They come with a huge amount of energy at everything they do. I mean, these guys are positive. I haven't seen anybody be negative yet. So I think right now that's the biggest thing that has me most excited, that they're coachable. They want to learn. They want to be coached hard. And I think that's going to really give us the edge that we need is when you have kids that show up and want to be coached, I think that makes the big difference in whether you're successful or not.
I do want to ask you, Leland Hamilton, head coach of the Hillsboro Eagles, joining us. Coach, I want to ask you a little bit about your district, which has been a bit of an adventure here in District 5, 4A Division 1, 5-4A Division 2, rather. You're in a 4-team district. Glen Rose, of course, is a team that's been terrific. And then you guys, Kemp and Venus, Hamilton Uplift Prep drops out of the leaving with the 4-team district. I'm curious about, congratulations on the playoff berth. But from your perspective, how do you approach a situation like this going into the fall? Yeah,
so I think one thing, I was not happy about it. Believe it or not, I really was not happy when I found that out. But I will say we have to look at this process as more like, we're going to earn our seed, right? We want to make sure that we're hitting those lists because for us, basically, our season is going to start, in November, right? That second weekend in November is technically when our season is going to start. So we know that we're going to be in the playoff. We know these type of things, but we have to make sure that we understand that we have a lot of things that we have to get corrected so that we don't just play one game and then we're out. We don't want to be that team that just gets to go to the playoffs because our district forced us to go and we don't make a showing when we're in there, right? So we want to make sure that we're crossing those lines, making sure that we're correcting those things throughout our games, not making the same mistakes each from week to week, making sure that we correct those things so that we're able to win a few playoff games.
Finally, Coach, you kind of alluded to it. You are a 409 guy. You're from Beaumont, Ozan, the proud Ozan. People may not know this about you, but I'll say it. He was a dog at Ozan. Okay, he was.
I appreciate it.
So my question is, how active are you during practice? Are you running scout? You're a receiver at Ozan, but how active are you in the running routes? Are we still getting out there? Because you are a young man. You still got some tread on the tires. Are you showing these kids how it's done firsthand?
So I get out there. Now, I pick my matchups wisely. That's where I'm at now. I pick my matchups wisely. Like, I'm going to go do that drill today. I try to save the energy and things like that. But I definitely get out there with the kids. We had a bench press competition the other day where the kids maxed out, and I was able to get out there with them and still, get more than them and push them. So, I definitely get out there and try to do some practice with the kids for sure.
He's Leland Hamilton. He's going to be pushing his Hillsboro Eagles in 2026. Coach, we so appreciate your time. Congratulations again on the new gig, and looking forward to seeing your ball club in the fall.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, and thank you for all you guys do for Texas high school football.
Absolutely. There he goes. Leland Hamilton, head coach of the Hillsboro Eagles, join us here on Texas Football Today. Excited for him. He's been kind of a guy that I think how do I want to put this? There are guys who I think are on the track to being head coaches, that they go through the assistant ranks and they kind of follow that trajectory and being, a 6A offensive coordinator, obviously at Katie Morton Ranch most recently. He's a guy that I think it's been aware he's going to be a head coach, not a when. And I'm very excited to see what he does with Hillsboro. It's a unique situation to step into, obviously, with a 4-team district, with a program that, it is in need of a jolt. They went 2-8 last year. They were winless the year before that. This is a team 3-7 the year before that. It's been a couple of years since they had a winning season. That said, that kind of new, exciting energy coming in there to Hillsboro, I'm excited to see what they do there. He said it, their season really starts in November. That's what's unique about that situation, but excited to see what he does. I think they got a good core coming back as well. I think 15 starters back from last year's ball club. So appreciate him taking some time with us. Let's go to Vianney Moreno for America's second favorite segment. Final thoughts. Are you okay?
Me?
Yeah. Are you looking at your phone?
No, I am. So in order to have Coach on, we use a whole other computer that is over here, and I'm making sure, because Coach was still on, so I needed to take him off. This is a one-man show back here, okay? There's a lot going on. I should grab the camera and show all the screens that are going on, but I'm by myself today, so.
Well, okay. I'm by myself in here.
It takes a lot to make you look good.
Wow, that feels backhanded.
I gotta make sure.
There's 9 different filters on me right now. If you saw me without any of the filters, your computer screen would break, or your phone screen would break, what you're watching it on right now.
There's so much going on back here.
NFL draft tonight.
And go Stars.
Oh yeah, go Stars. NFL draft tonight. Who do you want the Cowboys to take?
Everyone.
Do you want them to take an offensive lineman named Tyler?
Everyone, whoever. At this point, what does it matter?
Wow. Cowboys nihilist. Vianney Moreno. We did it. That's going to do it for us. Thanks for spending a little bit of your day with us. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook. Facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram. Instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And, of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. Thanks again to Leland Hamilton, head coach of the Hillsboro Eagles, for being our guest. For Vianney Moreno, I am Greg Tepper. We will see you Monday on Texas Football Today.
Goodbye.